Quays News. I'm Liz Grattan.
And I'm Aaron Benzel. Coming up on today's show, are university fees justified in the current climate?
Racing ahead, a Salford student hopes for pole position in Formula E commentary.
And Trump gives away to Biden, but who's better for Britain?
Because Brexit is also coming up soon. It does happen.
Good evening. Our top story tonight. COVID-19 continues to hit the university year. Students are currently planning an early exit for campus. To fit the latest government plans,
Yes, last week's announcement meant staggered finishing times for trimester 1. At the latest, we'll be finishing in 9 days, earlier than planned. So what's everyone making of it? Oliver Yude, live on Peel Park campus. Oliver, how do things unfold in there?
Well, things are unfolding in quite a staggered fashion, as you say. I'm here outside of the University of Salford's Peel Park campus accommodation, and the University of Salford is corroborating with universities across England in what is being dubbed a evacuation-style exodus of students from universities back to their hometowns. Now, in the run-up to this, mass testing will be rolled out across the UK. This is a quick turnaround test which has been trialled at the University of Leicester on a smaller scale and on a wider scale in the city of Liverpool. Now, those who get a positive result from this quick test will be asked to take a longer, more sophisticated 24 to 48 hour test, and if that comes back positive, then you will have to isolate for 10 days, with those in your household doing so for 14 days. Now, this raises quite a few issues, because if you get a positive quick result on the 9th, a longer result on the 11th, then your housemates are not going home for Christmas. And there's a lot of tension here between students and the universities, with many students feeling that with that and online learning, they are being given, well, they're being pretty hard done by and given the short end of the stick. Now, to tell us more about how students are feeling about all this and how the universities are responding is a special report from the folks.
With the news of an impending evacuation style week to get students home for Christmas, this will mean paying for more online university. It continues to raise more questions as to whether online university is worth the fees.
Libraries like this have been replaced with student bedrooms, but how are students finding it?
I myself not really as engaged in the lectures as I once was. I find that I'm distracted by my phone or by other people in the house.
Many unis have invested in online platforms and took on a blended approach.
Part of that was the university upgraded the Blackboard system and we moved to Blackboard Ultra. But the academic colleagues said it gave a much richer environment and that was much more interactive for students. So that was a big investment that we did really, really quickly.
Blackboard is now the new classroom.
It's 8:30 now. I'm just getting ready for my 9 o'clock lecture and getting my notes together. Currently in my first lecture, making some notes. Big lunch, now on to lecture number 2. 2 lectures done for the day.
There has been criticisms over the lack of support and help from the government.
It's generally agreed upon most unions that the government should be bailing out the higher education sector, the same as it has with other sectors, in a way to help give students a partial refund of their tuition. And it has to come from the government because the university can't afford to do that.
I don't really think the £9,000 fees are justifiable because it's all online. We never get to see our teachers.
The uncontrollable lack of face-to-face teaching is still a concern.
There's still something that's really important about that face-to-face contact, about that relationship with your academic tutors.
Many students hope online lectures will become a memory of the past. Neve Folks, Quays News.
November is the month when clean-shaven men put down the razors and grow a moustache to help raise money and get people talking about men's health.
Even in the face of the coronavirus, men all over Salford are doing their bits to raise awareness. Olivia Lindley reports.
Weird, challenging and monumental, This year has been a difficult one for everybody, but there are still positive steps being made all around the city this month. Movember returns to raise awareness and funds for mental health, specifically prostate cancer, mental health and suicide prevention.
So we're growing moustaches and we're doing weekly updates on the Instagram of how everyone's doing, and there's some obviously good and some obviously quite bad. But we're also getting everyone to send a link for the donation page to friends, family, work colleagues, whatever, just to raise as much money.
As with the rugby community, Movember is obviously really important because it's probably a male-dominated sport, and Movember is mainly to raise awareness for men's mental health and physical health with prostate and testicular cancer. So yeah, we're just doing it to raise awareness for all those things.
The amazing efforts across the UK have significantly contributed to research and have supported men who are diagnosed with prostate cancer, like David Kearney. In 2016, David was diagnosed with an aggressive prostate cancer and was told he wouldn't live past October 2018. 2 years on from then, and David is still fighting and being treated thanks to the Christie NHS Foundation Trust, which Movember can help to fund research for. Movember's mission is more important than ever this year, as COVID-19 has brought a range of new challenges like interrupted treatments and the loneliness isolation can bring.
For me, it's the mental health side of it. A lot of my friends have got mental health issues, suffered with like depression and like suicidal thoughts in the past. Even for me, like someone who's quite mentally sound, it's actually been quite challenging this year. So I know people who've got mental health issues, so it would have been even tougher for them.
There's a lot of lads out there who are struggling at the moment. I'm running a marathon a week, so usually it's about 6 runs a week. But I do feel that as a generation, especially lads, they find it quite hard to open up. And I was like that. I was quite hard to open up and admit I was feeling down. So I do want to do it for the lads out there who are struggling with mental health.
A student at Owen Park campus was racially profiled by the security. Here is Catherine Monk to talk more about it.
Hi, last Friday night, Zach Aiden, 19-year-old student from Manchester University, was a victim of racial profiling by 3 security guards at Fallowfield campus. He was pushed against the wall. And was asked to not pull the race card when he told them that he was a student from university. After the events, he questioned more the security guards of why he was pushed against the wall. Their response was that at the beginning, when he entered the campus, when he showed his ID for the first time, he had his hood up and they couldn't see his face. Now these security guards have been suspended by the security company, and now the university is an ongoing investigation with these 3 security guards. All of the students are with Zach Aiden and all of the staff members also. They hope that this can be resolved, and Zach Aiden hopes this can be true. He doesn't want to go back to Luton where his family is from. He wants to stay here in Manchester, in this lovely city that he says. He hopes that he can fix this soon with the university and the 3 security guards so that everything be over.
I record this. I'm recording it. I'm recording it. They're trying to snatch my car. You see, I take this racial profiling. You man didn't go for him, you came for me, blood. You came for me. Take my car. Read what it says. Read what it says. Read what it says. What does it say? What does it say? What's my name? Read it out loud. Read it out loud. Is that me? This guy. Oh, mad. Oh, mad. Oh, mad. Harassed by these man.
And you're not wearing a mask.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
And excuse me, sir.
The whole world followed Joe Biden's election victory this month, but just how will a change of president in the UK affect the UK? The US affect the UK? Mostly, it seems in relation to Ireland. The president-elect has made a visit to an ancestral home a priority, but will his roots affect the Brexit deal? First, I went to see what the people think about this. Apologies, our graphics have been misplaced. According to the YouGov, 23% of the British public thought that Donald Trump would be better leader compared to Joe Biden with 28%. 80% of Brits would back Trump to provide a better trade deal. However, this hopes for Irish community have Biden announced his Irish heritage. I spoke to Jennifer, an Irish student as well.
Britain, because Brexit is also coming up soon, it does have a massive impact towards Ireland and also America as well, meaning that like if America would want to have a strong deal between Brexit and the US, and obviously does kind of really affect Ireland as well. So
with furlough being reinstated for the second lockdown, Will Hollows has been speaking to those affected.
The furlough scheme has been extended until March 2nd, but this week's statistics show it could be too little too late for the UK. Rishi Sunak announced last week that workers for non-essential businesses will be receiving 80% of their pay during lockdown.
We can announce today that the furlough scheme will not be extended for 1 month. It will be extended until the end of March. The government will continue to help pay people's wages up to 80% of the normal amount. All employers will have to pay for hours not worked is the cost of employer NICs and pension contributions. We'll review the policy in January to decide whether economic circumstances are improving enough to ask employers to contribute more.
Despite the scheme, recently discovered figures show that redundancies have soared to 314,000, which is higher than the 2008 crisis caused. Unemployment has risen to 4.8%, which is the highest in 4 years. 5 hours before furlough was due to end, the second wave of COVID was present, and it was clear to Sunak that it had to be extended. I spoke to one worker currently on furlough to see how the scheme is treating the people it directly affects.
But also it is only 80%, which is like fine for me as a student. But I do kind of look at other people's, like who like single mums or something like that, who have a lot more bills and are forced not to work and are only on 80%, which I don't really think is fair. I think, that's going to be really hard on a lot of people.
William Hallows, Quays News.
Now, what's the ambition of most 19-year-olds? Maybe to graduate with a decent result, one day pay off student debts. Well, if you're Aidan Vincent, it's to travel the world, commentating on Formula E racing, and he's within the sight of the checkered flag. Emily Birtles has been to meet him.
Formula E are searching for a new young presenter for Season 7 in their Open Talent Call competition. An opportunity Salford University student Aidan Vincent didn't take lightly, as he has successfully reached the final.
It was a bit mental. I wasn't really expecting it, considering some of the people that were shortlisted had BBC experience at ITV, some of them worked for the Brits. So when I got final 50 and I just accepted, it's good enough, good for the CV. Ever since I was young, I've been a bit of an attention seeker, love racing and stuff like that, and I basically just sort of learned that I love entertaining people and making people laugh.
And this is clear from his application video.
From intros, hello and welcome to my Formula E application video. It's a live race commentary, and as I move towards Max and Beck, and even interviewing drivers. So tell me, what was quicker? You out there on track today, the rate at which your hairline receded?
At the end of this month, they're flying us out to Valencia for the pre-season testing for Formula E. And while we're out there, they're going to get us to do some on-screen challenges and stuff. And they're going to pick the winner from there. And then the winner gets flown out to Chile for the first race of the season.
On the back of his first YouTube channel, Aidan set up a Formula 1 channel over lockdown, accumulating over 1,000 subscribers in just 4 months.
If I didn't have the people supporting me on the channel and commenting on the nice stuff and just the fact that I applied in the first place, it wouldn't have happened if I didn't have that group of people around me that I don't even know, but I've just met recently the last few months that are supporting me.
With the final taking place at the end of the month, all that's left to do is hope he races to first place. I'm Emily Bertley, Quays News.
Finally, it's long been known in Manchester as the Berlin Wall. It stood for 18 years, but it's finally been taken down.
In a £10 million redevelopment, the demolition of the wall will signify the beginning of change. Charlotte Lineker has more.
Work has begun to remove the 20-foot wall feature in Piccadilly Gardens. A member of the public told us how he's feeling about the wall coming down.
I was in Manchester when the sunken gardens were here originally, and then they just came and trashed the whole of Manchester Piccadilly Gardens and stuck walls all over the place.
So are you looking forward to it coming down?
No, most definitely. Most definitely. When the Piccadilly Gardens were sunken, back in the day, it was absolutely pristine and beautiful.
It is hoped by some that the recent graffiti inspired by the COVID-19 lockdown will be preserved and placed in the city's art museum. A photographer who did not wish to be filmed told us his views.
I'm aware of the emotions that it's generated, both for and against. I'm looking forward to seeing what they replace these walls with, although hopefully not with more walls, but with something that attracts people towards the area within rather than screening the public view from it.
Here in Piccadilly Gardens, the Berlin Wall has been standing since 2002. It's caused lots of controversy over the last 18 years within the public of it being up, and it's finally coming down. A council member today on site has said that it will take up to 4 weeks for the project to be complete.
Sir Richard Leese, leader of Manchester City Council, said improving Piccadilly Gardens and the surrounding areas is a high priority for the council. Further ideas are in the pipeline, but this demolition will be the first visible sign that change is coming.
Thank you for watching. If you like us, you can tweet us at Quays News TV.
Be sure to join us again on Wednesday at 5. Goodbye.
Goodbye.